Hello, hello. So here is my raw my raw test my raw review of Copper. This is Copper CRM. It's a CRM I think that is owned. I read somewhere that it was owned by Google, but I could be wrong. I have to go back in and double check. But so I got an ad on Facebook for a CRM for consultants. So I decided, let me go ahead and check it out. This is not sponsored. This is literally just my raw understanding of it. I just had been, thinking about CRMs, and so I will do one on HubSpot as well, and a couple of other CRMs. So let's take a dive into this. So I got a couple. First of all, I want to say, Copper, if you're watching this, let Loom be recordable on the screens. I get that you're like trying to protect people and people's information. I'm sure that's probably the reason, but it's a big hassle for me to have to screen record this and not have a Loom video instead. So please don't do that anymore. So long story short, let's go ahead and dive into the actual tool itself. So let's see. First things first, we have a feed here. This is kind of cool. I like that they have these different sections here so you can sort based on the type of activity that you're looking for. And then looks like there's some tasks and stuff, activities on the other side, on the right hand side. Okay, so this is like all the tasks that you'll see in Copper, and then the things that you're following. Okay, cool. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Tasks. Okay, so let's try to create a task here. Okay. Okay. So Copper and whoever else is watching, this is actually a pet peeve of mine. This is something that Salesforce does as well. The forms, like the actual text boxes and like inputs don't have they're not distinct enough from what the information is that you're trying to put in here. So for example, this is here. One second, let me try to highlight. Yeah. So for example, this here, it's like it runs into what the information is. So it's hard to skim and see what exactly you're needing to do. So I wish Salesforce would change this across all of their products. I wish Salesforce would change this across all their products, but that's just not the case right now. So anyway, that's just one of my big pet peeves. But yeah, okay, we're gonna add a name, phone call. Okay, this is a type. Okay, so these are tasks separate. It's good that you can add this. Looks like you can relate this to, I'm guessing, like a client or a contact or a project. And then the owner, priority, and add description, visibility. Okay. I would love to okay, yeah, that's pretty cool. Tags. Okay, cool. All right. Interesting. Next, let's dig into the pipeline situation. So I thought this was pretty cool. This is something that you can do with pretty much any other CRMs, is create pipelines. Why is this not going, sweetheart? Plus? Okay, I guess maybe put the plus. Now, if I click here or click here, that should bring me here, but it does not. So as an FYI, you have to click the plus sign in order to create a pipeline. You can't just click this. Let's try this again. Yeah. Whoop. Okay. Interesting. All right. So I like that they have lots of templates. Let's add in a sample. Let's put in consulting template. I'm just gonna keep going through here. I want to name what I want to name these records. Opportunity. Yeah, I like the name opportunity myself. Use sales statuses and reports. Enabling the setting will treat records in this pipeline as sales objects with sales specific statuses. Okay. We'll find out. Staging, new opportunity, call, sent. I think they're probably here's my thought. There are several different touch points typically that can happen. Not typically, it just depends on how you decide to set up your sales system. But there are several different touch points that can happen between identifying an opportunity and then setting a call. which can be, LinkedIn stuff, like, I mean, all different kinds of things. Now, I can imagine that there probably will be like a set of tasks that you can put onto an opportunity. But in the meantime, I like the idea of adding the stages. Looks like they can add different stages here. So maybe it's like new opportunity, warm up, it's still kind of cool, right? Warm up, then the call, then the proposal, negotiation, etc. I kind of like here's something that is a tip that one of my business mentors gave me, which I will pass on, is that you really want to do the negotiation first before you send out the proposal. It saves a lot of time, a lot of stress, a lot of effort, a lot of energy. You want to make sure that you're on the same page before you send out the proposal. Once you send the proposal, the deal should basically be done, right? So you want to make sure that you do the negotiations for everything before you actually get the proposal sent. So actually what we're going to do is we're going to move this up. All right. Proposal contract. I'd like to add another stage 2, onboarding. I think onboarding is a part of the sales process. I'm typing with one hand here. I think onboarding is part of the sales process, personally. Yeah. New opportunity. You can do a warm up or you can just go cold, but I like a warm up. All right, we're going to add this. I hate that you have to scroll over, but such is the nature of technology. Okay, new opportunity, warm up, discovery call, negotiation, proposal sent, contract sent, onboarding, etc. Okay, great. Ooh, visuals, graphics. All right, so here are our opportunities. Open. Oh, my open opportunities and team open opportunities, the ones I'm following, and one. Okay, great. So let's test out what this looks like to add an opportunity. Again, with this menu, I don't like it. Give me boxes. Give me something where I can clearly see what the heck is going on. Okay. I think I have to say that because I don't think I have. I don't think I can say explicit things on this channel. So, all right. So, yeah. Okay. Name. I'm gonna just put this here. Test. Okay, you can create a test. Contact, close date. There looks like they're marking it for a month from now, which would be interesting to see what the actual close rates end up being. Test company. Tesco. I should have said that. Okay. Status open, owner, new opportunity, source. I wonder if they give you a chance to add different sources. I'm sure they will. Let's just say, because I want to add other things in here too, right? Like LinkedIn, other things. Value. Not sure yet. Let's just put let's put another value in here. All right. And then win percentage. I'm not sure what this means here. I guess this, someone drop in the comments what this is supposed to mean. I guess it means like maybe like if you've worked with them before, how many deals you've won versus lost. I don't know. Not clue. Description tag, etc. Okay. All right. So we have our deal. Again, I hate this so much. Contact here, test company, email, value, win percentage, etc. Activity. This is kind of cool. So it looks like you can log the activity in, which is nice. That's nice so that everyone can see what the actual touch points are. I assigned the person T to you. Okay, so this is the company. This is the company assigning me this opportunity. I don't know what, I guess this is T as the initials. Okay. All right. Add a note here. Okay. Let's test that out. I think too, one of the things I would add is that make sure that people can use the enter button to complete things. So if I wanted to create test note here, instead of having to click save, just let me press enter. If I want to, maybe it's because I'm used to Slack. I think that's what it is that I'm used to using Slack, which is, you can press enter to send messages, and that's what I do all day. But you also have the opportunity to shift enter in order to create a line break. So I think they should, make sure you have the settings on where you can change that. So that would be kind of cool. All right. Because I don't like reaching for my mouse. I really just like to use my computer and move on, right? Okay. So we've added a note here. We've got the details, activity. I think activity should be first and then the details, but that's just me. And I think activity should be like the first thing that pops up, because you can always go to the detail later, but the detail stuff isn't really going to change as much. So I think it's more important to have the activity stuff here. Related. Let's see. Okay. This shows you, like, I guess, how things are connected. Cool. All right. So this is kind of cool. It pops up as you move an opportunity from one stage to the next. And you can, looks like you can sort that way. Cool. Abandoned lost sort. Okay. Awesome. Well, you don't have to do that, but that's pretty cool. Let me change this actually. So add opportunity here. Cool. People, context, I'm guessing this is what that is. Company, same thing. Automation. So this is the thing. In fact, when I first opened this this site, and they have the pricing information and stuff on the site, the first thing I thought of was like, why are automations in like ultra premium price level? This is my problem, because this is the thing. Here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing. For CRMs, if you're doing any kind of CRM stuff, automations are a given. You can't really, it doesn't really function. Now, it doesn't function. Let me say this. It doesn't scale without there being some sort of automation. So for them to put that at the highest tier is ridiculous, honestly. You can create automations in Asana for a lot less than that. And this is not so different from that. I'd love to hear and see more about this, and maybe I'll like do a little bit of a, maybe I'll do that above a little bit of a test of that. But as for right now, why would anyone choose this over something like Asana, honestly? Because you can create, even though you're going to be jerry-rigging, you're going to be, jerry-rig it? Even though you're going to be rigging it up a little bit, you could create something like that in Asana with automations. Forms you can create in Asana. I'd be curious to see how friendly these are. Okay, form. All right. Looks like you can add stuff in here. So getting out all the content information here. Let me exit out of this. Email. So this is the thing. So I have been lately working in a lot of different tools that have the ability to send cold emails. Like, so they gather leads for you. They send cold emails on your behalf through like a set of sequences or workflows that you set up for yourself. And I've worked with some different companies who use those types of tools, and it's a fascinating thing. I mean, it's kind of cool that you can do this within your CRM specifically, which is cool, because otherwise it can be a separate product altogether. And there are some tools that want you to create and use the tool itself as your CRM, which I don't necessarily recommend. But it's an interesting, feature. But for something like this, again, it's not, for the cost that we're talking about here. Let me see if I can go back to the pricing. Let's see here. Let me see if I can find the pricing. 1 second. Oh, before I do that, I just want to say, I think having custom reports be something that's on the high tier again is ridiculous. That's what the whole point of the CRM is. That is the point. The point of a CRM is so that you can see what your business is doing. So dashboards and reports and reporting and all of that should come standard. And I think we should really put a lot more pressure on companies like this to create that, because at the end of the day, I know that they want people to push to their higher tier, but you just need to offer better features at the higher tier, honestly. Because ultimately, I think reporting and dashboards should just come standard with any CRM. So putting that out there. All right, so here we have the pricing page. And so right now, of course, as all software companies do, they always put you on the annual tier. So this is the prices you're looking at. It's always going to be less expensive than the monthly tier. But I'm looking to see what the average solopreneur can deal with, right? What is the average solopreneur going to pay? And so at the starter plan, you're paying $9 a month annually. So that'll be what, 80 something dollars a year, 100. My math is wrong. Ignore that part. Long story short, you're going to be paying $100 or so for the year to do a starter plan that leaves you 1,000 contact limit. You get integrations, which again, let me just put my glasses back on, because again, integrations should come standard with a product. Sorry, that is standard. Otherwise, you can't test it out. You don't know whether or not you're going to want the higher tier if you can't effectively test it. So of course, I'm not going to try the business plan right away until I've tested out the system and whether or not it's actually going to be what works for me. Which some people will say, oh, that's what the free plan is for. Everybody breezes through a free plan. Okay, this one's only 14 days. Sometimes people do a month. A month I think is reasonable. 14 days is just not really a good enough. It's not a long enough time for you to evaluate. So not to mention, if you are moving at a pace that you need to keep up with, you're not going to have the time to be like, oh yeah, let me evaluate whether or not this is going to be the best. You need to take some time to really think about these things. So you need to think about exactly what the hell is going on. Oh, I said it. Hopefully I don't get flagged. Okay. So they add the Google Workspace integration, which again, this is also makes me think that Google is the parent company of this company. Task and activity feed forms. Again, Zapier integration. Again, integration should come standard with any plan, frankly. Okay, at the next tier, additional contacts. You get pipelines, which again, you know what? See, this is what I'm saying. Again, my business mentor, who has been so gracious to share with me really positive, some really good advice over the years. You do not want to give people here's something that he said that stuck out to me that made me think like, okay, this is how I should think about what I'm offering and how I'm offering it. You want to give people the product in such a way that what you're giving them is the solution. You're not giving them the start to the solution. You're giving them the solution. So they understand that they're paying for this thing. They're getting the solution, period. Right? He didn't say it in quite those words, right? But the idea is that what you're selling to them, if you're going to sell them some low tier stuff and it's not actually going to solve their problem and it's not actually solving, going to be the solution to whatever they're needing to deal with, then you're at a loss, right? I already don't want to work with this company. I already don't want to use this tool because I don't agree with the pricing plans. Okay. The pricing plans should make sense to the average user. Now, that being said, the business tier, things like that and all that, like what we're seeing here in some of these cases and some of these tools is that they're really pushing for like an enterprise user. But the only problem is a lot of consultants are solopreneurs, right? So if you're saying, hey, I got a CRM that's just for consultants, just for you, I'm absolutely going to look into that because that is what I do. So at the end of the day, if you're going to attract me with that, then these prices, these tools should focus on that. If you're not, and you're saying, actually, we really want agency business, we really want, people who are doing $1 million, $2 million in revenue a year, that type of thing. If you're really looking for that kind of customer, don't even bother with small businesses. Just become an enterprise platform. Simple as that. Otherwise, when you do these things and structure these pricing plans in a way that they do not make sense, the things that come standard with a CRM are not standard. Like, for example, showing pipelines. What do you think? What do you think the point of a CRM is? What do you think the point of a CRM is, right? Do I expect my CRM to do project management? No, not exactly. But do I want it to do enrichment? Do I want it to do pipelines? Yes. Task automation should come standard. Workflows should come standard with every tier. I'm sorry. Maybe not bulk email. Maybe at the starter plan, I don't have access to bulk email because that is an additional thing, right? Because you're adding on something that like email providers do, like Kit or ActiveCampaign or whatever, right? That's a separate thing. Reporting, it depends on what the reporting is, but reporting for contacts and like deals and stuff like that should come standard. Okay. I think I'm done ranting. But long story short, do not agree at all with this pricing plan. It just should come standard. If the tool is not usable at the basic level and task automations and pipelines for a CRM that's for consultants should be your basic level features list, then it's not worth me trying. Sorry. I actually really enjoy the interface here. Like, I like it overall. The only thing I didn't like was how the forms and stuff are set up. But as far as, the branding, I would definitely totally use this tool if it actually gave me something for my money. But I'm not going to spend $200 a month, $100 a month on an annual plan to do this, right? If I were to monthly, it'd be, $140 a month. For $140 a month, I can use Asana, I can use ActiveCampaign, I'm pretty sure I can use, I could get all of those things. No, they're not going to be in one tool, but if I really, really, really wanted to, I could integrate all that information into dashboards, right? For less than that. So, Copper, if you're listening, this feedback is for you. The people who are doing marketing at Copper, the people who are doing the biz development at Copper, please call me, because you need this. This is not real. If you really want to just focus on agencies and enterprise business, just do that. Because otherwise, the rest of it for your average solopreneur such as myself is not worth it. Okay? So, this is my review on Copper. And I have some things to say, clearly. I have a few things to say. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about my experience with this or my thoughts on different software and tools like that, please let me know. Thank you so much. Chat soon. Bye.